Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Look at these soft and delicious, juicy Gulab Jamuns. What if I told you all that I made these today with pancake mix here at home? If you all want to see how I make my pancake mix Gulab Jamun, then please keep on watching. The first thing that we're going to do is work on the paag or the sugar syrup that the Gulab Jamun balls are going to be soaking in. So in a heavy bottom pot, I'm going to be going in with some water, and I'm also going to be going in with my granulated sugar. Now, if you wanted to use brown sugar for this recipe, you definitely can. Just know that the mixture is going to be pretty dark when it is done cooling and done soaking. Once you get the sugar and the water in the pot, you're going to bring this up to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, you're going to lower it to a medium-low heat, and you're going to allow it to simmer for just about 5 to 6 minutes or until it thickens very slightly. I did not include it in this screen, but I did add in the tiniest squirt of lemon juice. The reason why we do this is so this way this mixture never crystallizes. And again, you don't want this too thick or your Gulab Jamuns will not soak and it might crystallize. This is what the mixture looked like after about 10 minutes of boiling. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off now. Remember, you don't want it too thick. In a large bowl, I'm going to be using some milk powder, and this is the full fat milk powder. Make sure you're using this because you're going to be getting a better product versus using the non-fat milk powder. And as per usual, all of my ingredients and the proper measurements will be left in the description box right below this video. Click on the drop-down menu and everything will appear. I'm also going to be going in with my pancake mix. I'm using Bisquick today, and I'm also going to be going in with some elychee or cardamom powder. I wanted to let you all know that if you are making this for a puja or religious function, make sure that the pancake mix you use does not contain any eggs. And at this point, once you mix up those dried ingredients, you're going to be going in with some melted butter or ghee. Now, I'm using ghee today because I prefer the taste, but of course, if you only had butter at home, you can use that. Now, at this point, we're going to go ahead and mix everything very well until you get a fine, crumbly mixture. At this point, we're going to start to stream in our evaporated milk. If you did not want to use evaporated milk and you wanted to use whole milk, then feel free to do that. But I want to let you know that you have to keep on adding and mixing until you get a very sticky mixture. It's something that you're going to feel like you can't work with, but trust me, the milk powder is going to absorb that liquid. I say this because milk powder, as it sits, it tends to dry out very quick. So when you think you're done mixing, you still might need to add in more of that evaporated milk. So this is the mixture that I have in my bowl here after I've added in my evaporated milk. So once you finish mixing this mixture, you're going to go ahead and let it rest for just about 5 minutes. So this way you can have that milk powder absorb some of that milk. The reason why you want to do that is because if it's sticky, like you're supposed to be mixing it, the milk powder is going to have a chance to absorb some of that extra stickiness and it'll be easier to roll. I will mention that depending on how much of these Gulab Jamuns you're making, you might need to go ahead after rolling a batch, you might need to add in a little bit more evaporated milk and mix it in. I say this again because the mixture dries out very quick. So depending on how quick you are at rolling these, you might need to add in more milk to adjust. And while you're rolling these out, you have to make sure that they're very smooth on the outside. So squeeze them and roll them well, because if they have any cracks, they will fall apart in the oil when they're frying. I'm not using any ghee to go ahead and help me roll because the mixture is very oily already. But if you need some extra ghee, feel free to use it. So I have some vegetable oil heating up on a medium-low heat, and I have my first batch of my Gulab Jamun ready to go in. When you're making Gulab Jamun, you cannot have the oil sizzling because they will start to break apart as soon as they enter that oil. So make sure you're very careful about that. You're going to slide them in carefully and you're going to keep on rotating and turning them. These are going to fry for about 6 to 10 minutes. It definitely varies depending on how big you made them. I made them pretty tiny, so they're only going to take about 7 to 8 minutes. But you have to keep cooking them low and slow. So these are what my Gulab Jamuns look like after about 5 minutes of frying. As you all can see, they started to take on a golden brown color and they're turning out very nicely. So just make sure to keep on rotating them and cooking them until they all get that even dark brown coating. Now, after I put my first batch into the oil, I was ready to go ahead and roll out my second batch. However, I found out that the mixture got very crumbly. Again, like I said, the milk powder is going to make this mixture dry out a lot. So halfway in between, I went ahead and I added in just a little bit more evaporated milk, so this way it could come together again and be nice and smooth. There is generally no proper measurement for everything. You have to keep on adjusting as you go. Just make sure before you roll it out, you have a sticky mixture like this. So back to my first batch of the Gulab Jamun, these have been cooking for about 7 to 8 minutes at this point. But once you get this color and they're done cooking, you're going to drain them very well and you're going to put them on a paper towel lined plate and just allow them to drain off any excess oil. And at this point, I'm going to continue frying the rest of my Gulab Jamun and then I'm going to go ahead and show you what to do next. So this is my sugar syrup here. This is what I had set aside earlier. At this point, once you finish frying all of your Gulab Jamuns, you're going to go ahead and put them all into the sugar syrup. And what we're gonna do is stir them around just slightly, and I'm gonna leave this pot covered, and I'm actually gonna leave it overnight just to sit. You do not have to put this in the fridge. I'm leaving it on my stove, and I'm gonna let it sit until everything soaks. If you're rushed and you wanna go ahead and eat it after about 4 to 5 hours, you can, but trust me, if you wait for the next day, they're gonna be fully soaked through and absolutely amazing. So this is what the Gulab Jamuns look like the next morning. As you all can see, they've soaked up very, very well. I just wanted to let you all know that when you get to this stage, be careful, don't stir them up too much because they are delicate. You might just wanna go ahead and take them out one by one and put them onto a foil tray or your serving. Look how flawless and amazing these Gulab Jamuns look. These Gulab Jamuns were super soft on the inside, softer than the normal version I feel, and they had such a beautiful sweet and salty taste because of course pancake mix has a little bit of salt inside, and they were super, super juicy. If you all enjoyed this recipe, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave your comments down below, and give this recipe a try for Diwali. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye everyone.